the Philippines could become a global economic powerhouse. Not a headline from a local newspaper, but a direct statement from David Malpass, the former World Bank president. That's not casual praise. It's a wake-up call from someone who's helped shape the global economy. So the big question is, could this Southeast Asian archipelago really rise to compete with the world's giants? Malpass thinks so, and here's why we need to pay attention. He's not tossing around hype. This is a man who's led global financial institutions, advised presidents, and shaped policy on a world stage. When Malpass makes a bold prediction, world leaders take notes, and so should we. So what makes him so confident the Philippines can leap forward? It's all about three critical moves, three big shifts that could catapult the nation into the league of economic superpowers. Let's break them down. First, world-class infrastructure, not just roads and bridges, but a high-tech, sustainable backbone that attracts global investors and powers a modern economy. Second, real governance reform. Not the kind politicians talk about during campaigns, the kind that wipes out corruption, restores public trust, and fuels transparent growth. Third, climate resilience. Because no economic vision can survive if typhoons, floods, and natural disasters keep setting the nation back. The Philippines must build to withstand the storm. Let's start with infrastructure. The country's Build, Build, Build program has launched ambitious upgrades to highways, ports, and airports. It's a great start. But Malpass says it's still not enough. Here's the problem. Urban centers are modernizing, but rural communities remain disconnected. That disconnection is choking productivity, limiting regional trade, and pushing investors elsewhere. If the Philippines wants to rise, every corner of the country must be accessible, functional, and ready to do business. Look at Vietnam. They connected cities to countryside, bridged economic gaps, and unlocked a boom in exports and tech manufacturing. The Philippines can do the same. But it needs scale, speed, and strategy. And most of all, it needs transparency. Because this is where progress often crashes. Corruption, delays, inflated contracts, ghost projects. They bleed the system. Infrastructure can't just be built, it must be trusted. That's where Malpass drives home the second point: governance reform. Without clean, accountable leadership, no investment is safe. The Philippines needs a government that operates with clarity, enforces laws, delivers on promises, and partners effectively with the private sector. Right now, corruption remains a huge barrier. But if leaders crack down, really crack down, it changes everything. Investors flood in, projects get finished, confidence returns, and momentum builds. Good governance isn't just a moral win, it's an economic engine. Then comes the third pillar, climate resilience. The Philippines sits in one of the most disaster-prone regions on Earth. Typhoons, earthquakes, floods, they strike hard and often. And with climate change accelerating, the risks are rising. So Malpass says this can't be a side issue. It must be a national priority. The country needs smarter planning, climate-resistant housing, flood-proof infrastructure, early warning systems, and green energy investments that reduce emissions and cut costs. Not only does this protect lives, it boosts economic stability. It tells investors, we're building for the future, not just fixing the past. And here's the real kicker. If the Philippines acts now and gets these three pillars right, it won't just compete regionally. It could become a launchpad for global business. Why? Because of its location. The Philippines is a strategic gateway between the US and China. It sits on vital shipping lanes in the South China Sea, giving it enormous geopolitical and trade potential. Control over these waters means influence, and the world knows it. So imagine this: a Philippines with smart cities, clean ports, green energy, and a tech-driven economy, all connected to the biggest trade routes on Earth. That's not a dream. It's a possibility, but only if action beats inertia. Malpass's message is clear: talent, geography, and potential are already here. But without execution, it all stays locked in the vault. The infrastructure must be inclusive. The government must be clean. The economy must be built for tomorrow's climate and today's investors. It's not just about economic growth, it's about transformation. Because at the end of the day, the Philippines isn't just competing with itself, it's in a global race. With countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and India rising fast, this is the moment to surge ahead or fall behind. So will the Philippines rise? That depends not on forecasts, but on action. If the nation builds boldly, governs cleanly, and invests in resilience, the economic powerhouse label won't be a prediction. It'll be reality. In today's high-stakes global economy, investors are looking for more than just returns. They want reliability, transparency, and a clear set of rules they can trust. And that's where the Philippines faces a make-or-break moment. World Bank President David Malpass didn't mince words. If the Philippines truly wants to stand among the global economic giants, it must overhaul its government systems. Fast. So what does that transformation look like? It starts at the core, with institutional reform. That means streamlining how decisions are made, ensuring money flows through accountable channels, and making public projects efficient and corruption-free. No more bureaucratic guesswork, no more loopholes. The next battle? Corruption. Not just talk, action. There must be real penalties for those who abuse the system. Enough with soft slaps on the wrist. It's time to build an environment where investors know they don't need political favors or under-the-table deals to get ahead. Just look at Singapore. A few decades ago, they faced similar challenges. But with strict anti-corruption laws and a government that means business, they transformed into one of the world's most trusted financial hubs. Today, they pull in billions in global investment annually because trust is built into their system. The Philippines has all the right ingredients, but without cleaning house, it risks falling behind neighbors that already did. Corruption isn't a side issue. It's a massive anchor weighing down progress. It slows down infrastructure, it drains public funds, and it deepens inequality. The way forward? A tech-powered revolution, stronger audit systems, transparent digital tracking for public funds, real-time monitoring for accountability. Modernize the system and trust will follow. When governance improves, everything follows: investment, development, and long-term economic health. And let's be clear, this isn't just a politician's job. This is a collective mission. Leaders, businesses, and communities must unite to build a government that serves the people, not itself. If the Philippines can rise to this challenge, it won't just gain regional clout. It could become the blueprint for developing nations worldwide. And then, there's another mountain to climb: the climate crisis. This isn't just about rising seas or stronger storms. For the Philippines, it's a fight for survival and economic survival. Typhoons, earthquakes, floods, they're not future threats. They're here, they're frequent, and they're deadly. Climate change is already slamming the region. And Malpass warns, without climate resilience, years of economic progress could vanish overnight. Infrastructure destroyed, lives upended, businesses closed. That kind of chaos doesn't just hurt people. It scares off investors and weakens the entire economy. So what's the solution? Future-proof infrastructure, roads, bridges, and buildings built to withstand nature's fury. Coastal protections that hold back the ocean. A national disaster plan that can respond in hours, not weeks. But here's the twist. Climate resilience isn't just about survival. It's an opportunity. Green energy, smart cities, clean tech. These aren't just buzzwords. They're investment magnets. They're the industries of tomorrow. And the Philippines has a chance to lead the charge in Southeast Asia, if it moves now. Imagine a country powered by solar and wind, with smart transportation and eco-friendly industries driving the economy. That future is possible, but it takes leadership, it takes urgency, and it takes vision. So let's zoom out again. World-class infrastructure, transparent, effective governance, and climate readiness. These aren't luxuries. They're the new minimum requirements for global influence. The Philippines has the potential, the resources, the population, the drive. But will it take the leap? Every year, the country faces disasters that derail development and endanger lives. From crumbling roads to flooded neighborhoods, the price of inaction is already being paid. And if it can't adapt, economic progress simply won't last. David Malpass is crystal clear. To become an economic giant, the Philippines must prepare for a climate-altered world. Not tomorrow, but today. So what needs to happen now? Build better early warning systems. Strengthen flood control and disaster defenses. Design cities that can take a beating and bounce back fast. Then take it even further. Transition away from fossil fuels. Embrace solar, wind, and renewable technologies that not only protect the planet, they attract new industries and high-value jobs. This isn't just climate policy, it's economic strategy. And don't forget about forests, rivers, and farmland. Smart environmental management is key. Erosion, floods, and landslides don't just happen. They're made worse by bad land policy. Protecting nature protects the economy. And here's the kicker. Other vulnerable nations like Bangladesh and Vietnam are already miles ahead. Bangladesh now has world-class flood barriers and alert systems. Vietnam is building typhoon-proof cities and betting big on renewable energy. The Philippines? It's got the same potential, maybe even more. But it has to move. If it does, the impact will be massive. First, stronger disaster resilience will reduce damage, saving homes, businesses, and communities. Second, it will become a beacon for global investors, especially those focused on sustainability. And third, it will send a message to the world. The Philippines isn't just surviving the climate era, it's leading it. This isn't just about weatherproofing. It's about becoming a symbol of modern resilience and forward-thinking leadership. Let's take one last step back. 3 pillars: infrastructure, governance, and climate action. Together, they could catapult the Philippines into a future of prosperity and influence. But it's going to take courage, real reform, bold decisions, and unity that goes beyond politics. Malpass believes it's possible. Now the world is watching. Can the Philippines rise to meet this defining moment? Let us know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if this opened your eyes. And make sure to subscribe, because we've got more stories coming that you don't want to miss. Stay curious, stay bold, stay inspired,